My journey was almost over. 40 years of leading Israel through the wilderness. 40 years of miracles. 40 years of rebellion, tears, victories, and prayers. And now, I stood at the edge of the promised land knowing one painful truth: I would never enter it. Can you imagine spending your life pursuing something you would never personally possess? Yet God still had important work for me to do. These would become my final instructions to his people. The Lord commanded Israel to confront him not, because Midian had intentionally led many Israelites into sin and idolatry. This battle was not driven by greed. It was about justice and protecting God's people from spiritual destruction. Have you noticed something? The greatest enemies are not always those who attack our base. Sometimes they are the influences that slowly pull our hearts away from God. The soldiers returned victorious. Not one Israelite had been lost. Not one. The leaders immediately recognized something remarkable. God had preserved them, so they brought offerings before the Lord. Why? Because gratitude follows divine protection. How often do we remember to thank God after He carries us safely through difficult seasons? Then an unexpected request arrived. The tribes of Reuben and Gad looked at the land east of the Jordan and said, "This place is perfect for our families and our animals. May we stay here?" Immediately, I became concerned. Was history repeating itself? Were they refusing to enter God's promise? Sometimes what looks comfortable may not be God's complete plan, but they explained themselves. We will not abandon our brothers. We will fight alongside them until every tribe receives its inheritance. Their words changed everything. This was not selfishness. This was commitment. The lesson: God's people should never seek blessings for themselves while forgetting the needs of others. I began recounting our journey. Egypt. The Red Sea. The wilderness. The victories. The failures. The miracles. Why did God want us to remember? Because people easily forget where God brought them from. Have you ever looked back and realized that many moments you called ordinary were actually miracles? God then established boundaries for the land. Every tribe would receive an inheritance. Every family would have a place. Why does this matter? Because God is not a God of confusion. He is a God of order. Even in blessings, He provides structure and purpose. Then God established cities of refuge, places where someone could flee and receive protection while justice was carefully examined. Think about that. In a world often driven by revenge, God provided mercy and fairness. Why? Because His justice is never separated from compassion. Then the daughters of Zelophehad appeared again. Their inheritance had already been granted, but God now protected it so it would remain within their tribe. What lesson do we see here? God not only gives blessings, He also protects them. He cares about both our present and our future. As I looked upon Israel, I realized something. This entire journey was never simply about reaching a destination. It was about learning to trust God. The wilderness taught us dependence. The battles taught us courage. The failures taught us humility. The miracles taught us faith. And now a new generation stood ready to enter the promise. But what about us today? Numbers 31-36 reminds us that our spiritual journey is much the same. We fight battles against temptation. We learn gratitude. We remember God's faithfulness. We help our brothers and sisters. We receive God's mercy, and we trust Him with our future. Perhaps you are standing at the edge of your own promised season. Maybe you are facing uncertainty. Maybe your journey has been long and difficult. Take courage. The same God who led Israel through the wilderness still leads His children today. He has not forgotten you. He is still working. He is still faithful, and He is still preparing you for what lies ahead. So let me ask you, which lesson from this story touched your heart the most? God's justice, His mercy, His faithfulness, or His ability to bring His people safely through difficult seasons? Let me know in the comments below. If this story encouraged you, like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today. Subscribe to Scripture Spin for more powerful Bible stories and biblical teachings. And remember this: the wilderness may shape you, but God's promises still await those who continue trusting Him.